We've reached the final video in this series, and what a journey it's been. We learned how cats evolved their communication system specifically for humans. We decoded tail language, that real-time emotional barometer. We learned to understand vocalizations, all those customized meows your cat developed just for you. We discovered how to distinguish fear from aggression through body language. And we uncovered the invisible world of scent communication. If you haven't watched those previous videos, I'll link them all right up here, because today we're putting everything together. Today we're going to talk about how to read your cat as a complete being. Because here's the truth. Your cat doesn't communicate with just their tail, or just their voice, or just their body. They use all of these channels simultaneously, creating a rich, multi-layered message about exactly how they feel and what they need from you in any given moment. And when you can read the complete picture, when you can integrate all the signals together, you become truly fluent in cat language. Let me tell you about David. He's 60 years old, recently retired from teaching, and he lives with his cat Luna, a 10-year-old calico he adopted after his wife passed away 3 years ago. David thought he and Luna had a decent relationship. They coexisted. Luna tolerated his presence. But David always felt like something was missing. He didn't feel truly connected to Luna the way he'd hoped. Then David started applying everything he'd learned about cat communication, not just watching Luna's tail, not just listening to her meows, but reading the complete picture. Tail, ears, eyes, body, vocalizations, and behaviors all together. And that's when everything clicked. One evening, David was sitting in his reading chair, and Luna approached. Her tail was up with a slight curve at the tip. Good sign. Her ears were forward. Positive. Her eyes were half closed, and she gave David a slow blink. Trust and affection. She made a soft trill vocalization. Friendly invitation. Then she rubbed her face against David's leg and jumped into his lap, turned around 3 times, and settled in with her paws tucked under her chest, purring. Before David learned to read cat communication, he would have just thought, "Oh, Luna wants to sit on my lap." But now he understood the complete message Luna was sending. She was saying, "I feel safe with you. I trust you. I want to be close to you. You are my family. This is my spot, and I'm marking it with my scent while I'm here. I'm content and relaxed in your presence." David told me later, "I finally understood that Luna didn't just tolerate me. She loved me. She'd been telling me that all along through all these different signals. I just hadn't been reading them all together. Once I could see the complete picture, I realized how much she'd been communicating and how much I'd been missing." This is what integration means. This is what true fluency looks like. You're not just reading individual signals. You're reading combinations, patterns, and the full context. You're seeing your cat as a complete being, expressing complex emotions and needs through multiple channels simultaneously. So let's practice. Let's take some common scenarios and break down how to read the complete picture. We'll start with a scenario many cat owners deal with. You're sitting on the couch and your cat approaches you. How do you know if they want interaction or if they're just passing by? First, look at the tail. Is it up? That's a positive sign. Is it low or neutral? They might be uncertain. Is it swishing? They might be conflicted or slightly agitated. Then look at the ears. Forward ears mean they're interested in paying attention. Swiveled or back ears mean they're uncertain or uncomfortable. Look at their eyes. Are they looking at you with a soft gaze? Positive. Hard stare. They might be assessing or challenging. Listen for vocalizations. Did they chirp or trill? That's an invitation. Did they meow? That might be a request. Are they silent? That's neutral, could go either way. Watch their behavior. Are they walking directly toward you or taking a curved path? Direct approach usually means they want interaction. Curved path might mean they're just navigating their territory. If your cat approaches with tail up, ears forward, soft eyes, maybe a trill, and they rub against your leg and then look up at you expectantly, they're saying, "I want to interact with you. I'm happy to see you. Please pet me, or play with me, or acknowledge me." The appropriate response is gentle interaction. Reach down slowly. Let them sniff your hand. Pet them if they lean into your touch. But if your cat approaches with tail low, ears slightly back, no vocalization, and they don't make eye contact or rub against you, they're probably just walking past you to get somewhere else. They're not requesting interaction. The appropriate response is to let them pass without reaching for them or forcing attention. Let me tell you about another cat owner, Sarah. She's 57, works as a nurse, and has a cat named Oliver. Sarah used to get frustrated because sometimes Oliver would approach her seeming like he wanted attention, but when she'd reach to pet him, he'd walk away. She felt rejected. But then Sarah learned to read the complete picture. She realized Oliver would approach with his tail up and ears forward, which looked positive, but his eyes would be wide and alert, not soft and relaxed. He wouldn't give her a slow blink. He wouldn't trill or chirp. And when he got close, he wouldn't rub against her. He'd just stand there, looking at her expectantly. Sarah thought he wanted pets, but actually, Oliver was requesting something else. Usually, he wanted her to follow him to his food bowl or to open a door. He was getting her attention to show her what he needed, not requesting physical affection. Once Sarah learned to read the complete message, she stopped misinterpreting Oliver's approaches. If he approached with that alert, purposeful body language, she'd ask, "What do you need? Show me." And Oliver would lead her to whatever he wanted. Their communication became so much clearer because Sarah was reading all the signals together, not just assuming that an approach always meant the same thing. Now let's look at another common scenario, petting sessions and knowing when to stop before your cat gets overstimulated. This is where reading combinations becomes critical because the signs of overstimulation build gradually. At the start of a petting session, a happy cat will have a relaxed body, soft eyes, ears forward or slightly to the side in a relaxed position, tail either still or gently waving, purring, and they might need. This is all green lights. Pet away. Your cat is enjoying this. But as the petting continues, watch for the earliest signs of approaching overstimulation. The tail tip starts to twitch. Just the tip, small movements. The ears rotate slightly, not forward anymore, but not back either. The purring might change quality, becoming a bit more tense. The skin might ripple slightly along the back. These are yellow lights. Your cat is starting to reach their limit. You should start thinking about stopping soon. If you miss those yellow light signals and keep petting, you'll see the red lights. The tail starts swishing more forcefully. The ears go back, not flat yet, but definitely back. The pupils might dilate. The cat's body gets slightly more tense. They might stop purring or the purr becomes very strained. They might turn their head to look at your hand. These are final warnings. Stop petting immediately or your cat will enforce the boundary with teeth or claws. David learned this with Luna. He used to pet her until she'd suddenly swat at him, and he thought she was being unpredictable. But once he learned to watch for the progression of signals, he realized Luna was being completely predictable. She was giving him multiple warnings through her tail, her ears, her body tension. He just hadn't been reading them. Once he learned to stop at the yellow lights, the swatting disappeared entirely. Luna wasn't unpredictable. David had just been missing the communication. Let's look at another scenario. Your cat is sitting on the windowsill watching birds outside. Are they happy and engaged, or are they frustrated and overstimulated? This is where reading combinations tells you whether you should leave them alone or redirect their energy. A cat who's happily watching birds will have a tail that's either still or gently swaying. Their ears will be forward and alert. Their eyes will be focused, but their pupils won't be fully dilated. They might make small chirping sounds. Their body will be relaxed but attentive. This cat is mentally stimulated and content. Leave them to their bird TV. They're fine. But a cat who's becoming frustrated or overly aroused will show different signals. Their tail will start thrashing, or the tip will be twitching rapidly. Their ears will be forward, but very tense. Their pupils will be fully dilated. Their chattering will be more intense and frequent. Their body will be coiled and tense, ready to pounce. This cat is getting very worked up. They need you to redirect that hunting energy into play before they start redirecting it inappropriately, like onto you or another pet. Sarah learned this with Oliver. He loved watching the squirrels in their backyard, but sometimes after watching for a while, he'd suddenly attack her ankles as she walked by. Sarah thought this was random aggression, but then she learned to read Oliver's arousal level by watching his complete body language while he watched the squirrels. When he started showing those overstimulation signs, high arousal, dilated pupils, thrashing tail, intense focus, Sarah would interrupt with a toy. She'd bring out a feather wand or throw a toy, mouse. Oliver would redirect his hunting energy onto the toy, play intensely for a few minutes, and then calm down. The ankle attacking stopped completely because Sarah was reading his arousal level and intervening before it became a problem. Now let's talk about reading emotional states over time. Your cat's communication isn't just about single moments, it's also about patterns and changes. If your normally social cat starts showing more withdrawn behavior, spending more time hiding, eating less, playing less, and their body language shows more fear or uncertainty signals, something has changed. Either something in their environment is stressing them, or they're not feeling well physically. Let me tell you about Elizabeth. She's 64, lives alone since her divorce, and has a cat named Muffin. Elizabeth noticed over a few weeks that Muffin seemed different. She was spending more time under the bed. Her tail was often low instead of up. She was eating, but with less enthusiasm. She wasn't initiating play. Her eyes seemed more alert and wary instead of relaxed. Elizabeth could have dismissed these as Muffin just having an off few weeks. But Elizabeth had learned to read complete communication, and she recognized these were stress signals. Something was wrong. Elizabeth examined Muffin's environment. Had anything changed? And then she remembered. 3 weeks ago, a new neighbor had moved in next door with 2 large dogs. Elizabeth couldn't hear the dogs much, but Muffin could. The scent of the dogs was probably coming through the shared wall. Muffin felt her territory was being invaded. Elizabeth made changes. She moved Muffin's favorite sleeping spot to the opposite side of the house, away from the shared wall. She played white noise near that wall to mask the dog sounds. She gave Muffin extra attention and created more vertical territory with cat trees, so Muffin felt she had more control over her space. Within 2 weeks, Muffin's stress signals decreased. Her tail went back up. She came out from under the bed more. She started playing again. Elizabeth caught this early because she was reading the complete picture and noticing patterns over time. If she'd waited longer, Muffin's stress could have developed into behavioral problems or physical illness. But because Elizabeth was fluent in cat communication, she recognized the problem and solved it before it escalated. Here's another important aspect of reading complete communication: understanding individual differences. Every cat has their own communication style, their own baseline normal. Some cats are naturally more vocal, some are naturally quieter. Some cats have very expressive tails, some have more subtle tail language. Some cats are naturally confident with ears always forward. Some cats are more cautious with ears often swiveled. Your job is to learn your specific cat's baseline and their individual style. Then you can recognize when something has changed from their normal. David learned that Luna was naturally a quiet cat. She rarely meowed, so when she did meow, it meant something important. She needed something urgently or something was wrong. If David had expected Luna to be as vocal as a Siamese cat, he would have misread her communication completely. But by learning Luna's individual style, he could interpret her signals accurately. Here's your final homework for this entire series. I want you to spend the next week practicing complete reading. Multiple times a day, pause and observe your cat. Read their tail, their ears, their eyes, their body, their whiskers. Listen for vocalizations. Watch their behavior. Put it all together. Ask yourself, what is the complete message my cat is sending right now? And then, respond appropriately to that complete message. If your cat is showing signs of wanting interaction, interact with them. If they're showing signs of wanting space, give them space. If they're showing signs of overstimulation, back off. If they're showing signs of fear, address what's scaring them. If they're showing signs of contentment and bonding, treasure that moment and reinforce it with gentle attention. The more you practice reading complete communication, the more automatic it becomes. Eventually, you won't have to consciously think through each signal. You'll just look at your cat and immediately understand what they're communicating, the same way you can look at a close friend's face and immediately know how they're feeling. And here's what I want you to share in the comments. Tell me about a moment when you read your cat's complete communication and it changed how you responded to them. Maybe you recognized overstimulation signals and stopped petting before they got upset. Maybe you recognized anxiety signals and helped them feel safe. Maybe you recognized an invitation to play and engaged with them. Share your experience, because every single person watching this has been on this learning journey with us. And your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. David, Sarah, Elizabeth, they all started this journey feeling like they didn't truly understand their cats. They felt disconnected, confused, sometimes frustrated. But as they learned each channel of cat communication, as they practiced reading complete signals, as they integrated all the information together, everything transformed. They became fluent in a language they didn't even know existed. And their cats, who had been patiently communicating all along, finally had humans who understood. Your cat has been talking to you since the day you met them, through their tail, through their vocalizations, through their body language, through their scent marking, through every behavior and signal. They've been telling you how they feel, what they need, what they love, what scares them, what makes them happy. They've been communicating constantly, completely, clearly. And now you understand. You can read the tail language. You can interpret the vocalizations. You can distinguish fear from aggression. You can see the invisible scent messages. And most importantly, you can put it all together and read your cat as a complete being, expressing complex emotions through multiple channels simultaneously. This is fluency. This is true understanding. This is what your cat has been hoping for since the day they chose to share their life with you, to be truly seen, truly heard, truly understood. You're not just a cat owner anymore. You're fluent in cat. You can read the language that's been spoken to you all along. You can respond appropriately to what your cat is actually saying instead of guessing. You can build a relationship based on genuine understanding and clear communication. Your cat has been talking to you all along, and now, finally, you understand everything they've been saying. Thank you for taking this journey with me. Thank you for caring enough about your cat to invest this time in learning their language. Thank you for being willing to see the world through their eyes, their ears, their whiskers, their tail, their scent glands, their entire being. You're not just a better cat owner now. You're a true companion to your cat, someone who gets them, someone who understands them, someone they can communicate with clearly and be understood. Go look at your cat with all of this knowledge. Read what they're telling you. Respond to their communication. Have conversations in a language you both finally understand. Your cat has been talking to you all along, and now you're finally listening to everything they've been saying.